So we're at the Rossland Discovery Center. We're gonna do some research into West Kootenay power and light and electricity and dams and how it relates to the region. Okay, nice. So the Okanagan Water Power Company, South Kootenay Power and Light Company, West Kootenay Power and Light Company, and Cascade Water Power and Light Company. We know them, right? Cascade City there, Nikola Tesla, we saw that. Those are the different electrical companies in the area. So Canadian General Electric Dynamo, patented in 1881. Ooh. Installed in 1869 at West Kootenay Power. 1880s Dynamo, guys. Canadian General Electric, Peterborough Works, Ontario, generator there. So you'd have a belt. Like you could run this off anything rotating. So you get a water wheel going, you attach a belt, or however you've got it rigged up, a strap or whatever, right, to one side. Wrap it around that roller there. That roller spins. These are the field coils, field packs, coil packs, produce power. And it's just the commutator bar structure, and the way it's wired is basically AC versus DC. You've got your commutator bar and the brushes, and then send it over to the lights. So that's, in a nutshell, what's going on with the dynamo here. Chemco 7500 volt, 2000 amp, single pole disconnect switch equipped with West Kootenay Power type jaw clamping devices. 1935. Ah, yes, the big players in the power game here. Sir Charles Ross, 1872 to 1942, Scottish noble, educated to prestigious Eton College and Cambridge University, arrived in Rossland between 1895 and 96, became involved in the local mining industry. Eventually, he became interested in hydroelectricity, formed the West Kootenay Power and Light Company. He was directly involved in the construction of the Lower Bonington Dam and the power line to Rossland. Lauren Campbell, oh yeah, Mr. Campbell there, started his career at Canadian General Electric Company, became the company's chief engineer at the age of 21. In 1898, his career brought him to Rossland, where he accepted the role of general manager at West Kootenay Power. Campbell revolutionized energy production in the West Kootenays and oversaw one of the most significant power production programs in Canada. At the time of his death, April 29th, 1947, Campbell had led West Kootenay Power Light for 49 years. He was much beloved in Rossland. John Dingwall MacDonald was the General Superintendent of West Kootenay Power. Born in Woodstock, Ontario, MacDonald received position in West Kootenay Power in 1897 and worked for the company during his retirement in 1942. During his time at West Kootenay Power, MacDonald was instrumental in some of the company's biggest projects, such as construction of the hydroelectric plants. Switchboard. Built for West Kootenay Power and Light by Sangamo Company. Current selector, voltage selector, shorting switch, light load selector, full load, amps, volts, ground test. West Kootenay Power, incorporated in May 8th, 1897, West Kootenay Power and Light was instrumental in the growth and development of Rossland. The company provided electricity to the booming mines, smelters, and railways of the West Kootenay region and beyond. Without West Kootenay Power, the enormous success of the Rossland mines wouldn't have been possible. Neither would Trev Smelter or heavy water production or any of it. West Kootenay Power, blasting box. Lower Bonington Dam hydroelectric plant was constructed between 1897 and 1899. Located on the Kootenay River, the project connected a 51.5 kilometer power line between Lower Bonington and Rossland. At the time, the project was the longest high voltage line in the world, estimated at 20,000 volts. Rossland began receiving power from Lower Bonington in 1898. And on August 1925, a new powerhouse was opened, changed capacity from 4,000 horsepower to 60,000 horsepower. South Silicon Dam operational in 29. South Silicon Dam was built on the Kootenay River, increasing power. Climbing spurs for climbing the power poles. Stamping the pole so you know, like classifying the pole. Polyphase watt meter. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Westinghouse Electric Company. Brilliant Dam, plant number 5, situated on the mouth of the Kootenay River. The Brilliant Dam was constructed between 1942 and 1944 to meet the energy requirements of Cameco's World War II production. Soldering pot. 1905, the demand for electricity had increased. West Kootenay Power began constructing a new hydroelectric plant, completed in 1907. Upper Bonington was constructed upstream from plant number 1, had the capacity of 8,000 horsepower per unit. And then the Cora Lynn, located upstream from Bonneville Pass. The Cora Lynn was built between 1930 and 1932 by a workforce of approximately 12,000. In addition to providing power, the dam's 14 floodgates allowed them to regulate the water level of Kootenay Lake. So you got 5 dams here, guys, for West Kootenay Power. You've got Lower Bonington Plant number 1, Upper Bonington Plant number 2, South Slocan Dam Plant number 3, Cora Lynn Dam Plant number 4, and Brilliant Dam Plant number 5. Those all together give you West Kootenay Power and Light Company dams. Carbon arc lamp. Ooh, nice. Carbon arc lamp. An early version of the modern streetlight, which was illuminate Rossland's Columbia Avenue. 1898 to 1929. Kootenay Lake span. In 1951, West Kootenay Power and Cominco began an ambitious project to provide electricity from Kootenay Lake dams to the Sullivan Mine in Kimberley. To complete the project, a power line needed to cross the expansive Kootenay Lake. A plan was developed to run a 10,656-foot power line between 2 towers across Kootenay Lake. At the time, completion in 1952, it was the longest power line span in the world. Diving helmet, got the is that a Morse? Mark V there, good old Mark V helmet. Those are fun to dive, man. I like those. Great. I hope. Canvas suit, good old canvas. You see the comms there, and the earphones. Used to perform underwater maintenance in dams. So the biggest thing with divers is that, so dams, you got the intake penstocks, and around that they'll have a trash rack. They call it a trash. It's just like a rack that prevents garbage from getting into the penstocks and clogging up the turbines. But sometimes the trash rack gets plugged, and you'll have to dive down however deep and unclog the trash rack. Into concrete inspections, diving into the draft tube and scroll case, do a scroll case inspection, draft tube inspection. There's all kinds of stuff that divers are doing on dams. The 32-mile, 22,000-volt transmission line between Bonington and Rossland set a world record for both long distance and voltage transmission in 1897 and 98. So there's a little roof up there on the tower to prevent it from snow, because they get a lot of snow here. So diving, very important on dams. They'd have lead weights, guys. So lead, very important. Lead boots, lead weights, right? Keep your feet. You don't want your feet. You don't want to go upside down. Suit flood and you drown. Beers and sodas, liquors, hey, whiskey. Lots of cool bottles here. Cognac. Food bottles, perfumes, miscellaneous medicine bottles. Oh, Selwyn G. Blaylock, the president and managing director of Consolidated Mining and Smelting, Cominco. He was the grandfather of the heavy water thing there. From 1939 to 1945, joining the company in 1906, Blaylock was praised for his abilities as a leader and his contributions in mining and metallurgy. Fluorite, sulfur, silver, medicinal bismuth, copper, asbestos. That's what asbestos looks like, guys. That's fibrous asbestos. Lead, zinc, copper, antimony, breccia, lead, silver ore, quartz, chalcopyrite and calcite, pyrite, galena and quartz, petrified wood, iron, very important, bog iron, galena crystal, golden quartz. Golden quartz. Oh, the Tilcombe Mountain Mine, Burton, British Columbia. This golden quartz came out of Yellowknife. Garnet, serpentine. Stuff from all over. Metamorphic rocks, right? Sedimentary rocks, igneous rocks. Intrusive, found in a vein. Extrusive, outside, right? Like a dike or something. Cominco wing, founded a trail. So we're continuing on our research here at the Rossland Museum. Then we're in the Cominco wing. Rossland Historic Museum opened in August 1979 because Cominco's done a lot for the area, right? Tickable high-grade copper and gold ore chalcopyrite from the Rossland mines. So this is what the trail smelter started smelting back in the day. It's very beginning. Model of the Leroy Mine head frame in Rossland, approximately 1896. So this would have been the head frame for the mine. Early hand-operated rock drill. Early version of a water-cooled stoper. Stoping is drilling up, right? Drifting is drilling sideways. Sinking is drilling down. Ladle of molten metal. We saw the running zinc. We saw the zinc sheets there they stripped off the cathode. That's a gold bar, right? So that was the beginning. Carpenter's bit there. Blasting boxes. So this is what the old smelter used to look like in 1896. This was the 1896 one. Obviously it's changed. It doesn't look the way it did 130 years ago, but this would have been the old smelter, the very beginning, the granddaddy of them all. Mercury flask. Mercury was often used to recover gold in the milling. Guys would carry mercury in pouches with them, man. They'd have like a can, which is crazy if you think about it. Shovel, pick, drill bits, single jacking, double jacking. A spoon used to remove rock chips. Broad axe, hewing timber, very important. Oh, original claim post and exploration drill rig for the Pine Point lead zinc mine in the Northwest Territories. That's really cool. So these are all the mines: the Big Missouri, the Con, Red Rose, Pinchy Lake, HB Mine, Pine Point, Bluebell. Miner's lights. Oh, these are great. Sticking Johnnies. Just a candle with a spoke. So you can, the spoke is for jamming it into timbers. You can you can stick it right into a piece of timber, or you can hang it. It's got a hanger. You can hang it on a place. So if you want to hang it off something and use that. But that was your light, guys. If your candle went out, you didn't have a light. Carbide lamp. That's using calcium carbide and water. And when you put water on calcium carbide, it gives off acetylene gas. And then if you have a spark, you can light the acetylene gas. So carbide lamp is just basically, it's using chemical reaction to produce gas, which then you then ignite. Safety lamp. Rossland mines, high levels of hazardous gases. And they'll also illuminate when there's bad gases. Battery powered lamps, we've seen those. All the signals. Oh, surveyor's transit, nice. I've done some surveying stuff on my channel. Leroy Shaft House, up top there. Copper ashtray. Boiler gauge, early slag furnace. The first silver smelter in Canada. Imitation silver bar. Copper ingot. Ingots are what they call it, when it's been poured, and like these are ingots. Assay registry. Holy, that is a lot of mines, man. Crucibles used for assaying gold. Very important crucibles. You're not doing anything without it. Ingot from Rossland. Copper smelted and refined at the original Twale smelter, weighing 200 pounds. That's it. Is that real? Yeah, that's a real copper ingot. Good luck picking that up. Lead pig produced in Trail prior to 1902, recovered from South Slocan Lake in 1978. It was part of a shipment that broke free on the dock at Slocan City, plunged into the lake in 1903. One CPR employee killed in the lake due to the accident and was never found. Typical band of lead zinc ore from the Sullivan mine in Kimberley. Ooh, it's a nice looking piece of ore. Oh, fertilizer samples. The Trail, what we were just at, Elephant brand fertilizer, ammonium phosphate, forest grade urea, zinc, granular urea, ammonium sulfate, ammonium phosphate, nitroprils, potash. Saskatchewan, they do a lot of potash there. Kaminko, Elephant brand fertilizers. Oh, those are the cadmium elephants. Miniature elephants. Yeah. Crucible used for molten metal. Cadmium's so bad for you. Like, it's so bad. That would warn me in welding school about cadmium. Cart used to transport copper ore. Oh, that's an early mold for casting. We got a spur gear in the back there. Doesn't like spur gears. Environmental monitors, important. They're really, really crazy about environmental here. They test every day, constantly, all the time. And they redo people's lawns. So if you have children, and they'll come test your lawn, and if you have too much concentration of lead, the company, free of charge, will come in, rip your lawn up for you, and replace your lawn. Good at the company, they're trying, right? They're trying to do it. The Rossland Museum is so much fun. I love this place. Sullivan mine, zinc ingot replicas, Red Dog core sample, Red Dog ore sample. These are the Red Dog. That's where they're getting their ore from now. Consolidated Mining and Smelting Company Limited officially changed its name in 1966. It adopted quadriform logo. In July 2001, the merger of Cominco Limited and Tech Corporation was complete, forming the new company Tech Cominco Ltd. Drafting plans were created by hand. Yeah, that is a lost art. Certificate of apprenticeship started in 1919. Bismuth bar, Cominco zinc slab, lead pig, gold copper ore, golden quartz, more golden quartz, molybdenum, Red Mountain mines, molybdenum, pyrite and bornite, gold and granite, chalcopyrite and hematite. Oh, nice core samples. And there was also, in the Britannia Mining Museum there, we saw hydrothermal vent deposits on gold formed from hydrothermal vents. Alrighty guys, we're just in the Cominco wing here of the museum doing some research, some studying, you know, some learning. Project 9. And the heavy water they were making, they called it Product 9 because they didn't want to call it heavy water for the sake of being secret. So they called it Product 9, which in turn they called it Project 9. During the Second World War, the Consolidated Mining and Smelting Company was called upon to support the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project was the code name for the United States clandestine operation to develop an atomic bomb during the Second World War. Initiated in December 1941, the project was a response to the fears that Nazi Germany was developing nuclear weapons, which they were, and almost succeeded. At the time, CMNS was the only company in North America with the capacity to produce heavy water, deuterium oxide, an element required to moderate nuclear fission. On August 1st, 1942, Selwyn Blaylock, general manager of CMNS, signed an exclusive contract with the U.S. government to produce heavy water for the Manhattan Project. The War Department of the U.S. government incurred the expense of building the heavy water facility at the CMS fertilizer plant in Warfield, where we visited. Completed in 1943, the estimated cost of the facility was $2 million, approximately $35 million in 2022. The heavy water produced by CMNS was never actually used to produce the atomic bombs dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Project 9 was not revealed to the public until 1951. And then that's the facility there. CMS Heavy Water Facility, 1943, was demolished by Tech in 2008. Special copper bucket used for transportation of precious heavy water from trail to the United States, 1945. So they would come and pick these up. This is a canister of heavy water. They come pick these up. The U.S. government, a colonel from the U.S. military, would come and pick this up. Sample of the original heavy water produced at the Trail Secret Project 9 during World War II. That's it right there, guys. Number 9 project. 99.9% pure product. Sample of first CMS product production trail, February 12th, 1943. There you go, guys. That's the heavy water. That's a vial of it right there, heavy water. And then this is the buckets or the drums that they were coming to pick the heavy water up in. Number 33, property of the U.S. government, returned to CMNS, Project 9, Trail, BC, Canada. Okay, 1943 to 1944. The visionary Selwyn G. Blaylock, whose 46-year career with the company culminated in the appointment of president of CMNS from 39 to 45, faced with the greatest challenge of his career, World War II. The Canadian government virtually conscripted CMS's entire metal production for the war effort at low levels. Under the leadership of CMNS, metal and fertilizer production was expanded to meet the needs of the Allied nations. The company constructed and operated ordnance ammonium nitrate plants in Trail in 1941. There's Blaylock and Diamond there. Lead alloys. 1945, major revision to the lead trail smelter announced. 49, hydro plant. The Juanita on the Ponderay, a major extension plant made it the world's largest. The Bluebell in 1952. The lead smelter sintering plant, which was part of the lead smelting process, was, oh, they do have a sintering plant. 54, the HB mine near Sulmo. This year saw the closure of the CMNS heavy water plant. The building of the, this is what we toured today, guys. when we saw the construction of the electrolytic and melting plant began in 1970. The world's first commercial zinc pressure leach plant commissioned at Trail as part of the modern program. Modern zinc melting plant was announced. An expansion of the roasters began. Increased refined zinc. After 6 years operating CMS, the new company's name, Cameco Ltd, was officially adopted. Construction of a 130,000 ton capacity sulfuric acid plant was underway. The output of zinc established a record. Plant poured 8 millionth ton. That's the compressor that I was telling you about. They use that in Cameco there, Trail Smelter. Marine engines built for World War II. Worker clock. Chassis of Workhart recovered from the Columbia River. So this whole wing, guys, everything in here is all related to Cameco and Trail Smelter and like anything to do with the Sullivan Mine, all the mines. Okay, Sullivan Mine became the major source of lead in 1914. 1916, Canada's first electrolytic zinc refinery began operations. In the same year, CMNS also completed construction of the copper refinery. Ralph H. Diamond, responsible for 2.5 years of research on the complex Sullivan ore, developed differential flotation process, making the separation of lead, zinc, and iron minerals as high-grade concentrates. 1919. It was honed and proved here, man. 1923, Sullivan concentrator begins. 400-foot zinc plant stack was completed. 26, non-contributing pension plan. Allegedly smoke damage from the farms in Washington State. The first refined cadmium produced in Trail, 1928. Sulfuric acid plant began operation in Trail, as well as bismuth metal production by electrolysis. 3 sulfuric acid plants began slag fuming process that was put into production to remove zinc from the lead smelter slag and boost zinc production. This process is still used today. Chemical fertilizer plants began construction. Trail soon recognized as one of the world's non-ferrous smelting and refining complexes. In 1914, CMNS and the Anaconda Company were working together to develop a system of zinc refining by electrolysis. Electrolysis means to break down with electricity. Electricity, lysis, break, to break down. Began construction on Canada's first zinc refinery in 1915 in response to the increased demand for brass. Yeah, okay, so this is differential flotation, guys. So Blaylock realized he needed to find an efficient process to separate lead and zinc concentrates. In 1917, he recruited Ralph W. Diamond, a young flotation engineer from Anaconda Company in the US. Diamond spearheaded a research team at Trail to find a solution. Gradual improvements on the process were made, and hundreds of chemical reagents were tested in an effort to find those that would selectively float the tiny particles of lead first, then zinc, leaving behind the iron sulfide. It wasn't until August 13, 1920, that his research had proven successful. This breakthrough changed the future of CMNS dramatically. It's doubtful that Trail operations could have survived and prospered to the extent it did without the Sullivan Mine and the development of differential flotation. As well, the combination of the smelter, fairly close to the large mine owned by the company, formed the basis of tremendous growth and prosperities. Once considered the largest lead and zinc mine in the world, the Sullivan Mine operated until the end of 2001 and was produced not only lead and zinc concentrate, but also silver, bismuth, cadmium, indium, gold, and antimony. Alrighty guys, so that's going to be it. It's a pretty cool place. Definitely come check it out one time or another. See you guys on the next one.